Alright guys, welcome to this video, and in this video I'm going to break down the 100 lessons that I've learned about life, dating, and business. Now I want to make this video because I attained a level in my podcast where I reached 99 episodes in my podcast, The Limo Show. Now you might be listening on my podcast right now, but I'm also going to publish this as a YouTube video, so you might be watching this as a YouTube video as well. And I wanted to make these 100 lessons video because it will be the 100th episodes, like episode 100 of the podcast. So because of that, I want to kind of make a toast and create this video to share what I've learned about life, dating, and business. Not everything, but some of the key points that I've learned so far that I think would be helpful. And I think anybody can come back to this video and learn a few nuggets or kind of remind themselves of what they should do and the principles they should abide by in life. And not just in life, but also in dating, in business, in every area. So let's dive in. I'm going to go very briefly through each point. So there's going to be 100 points, like 100 lessons, 100 principles that I want you to live by. And I'm going to go pretty quickly through each of them. So hopefully this video is not going to be too long. Video or podcast if you're listening to it through the podcast. So let's dive in right now. So lesson number 1, volume negates luck, and it's the same thing in every fucking area. Like at the gym, with dating, with business, the more reps you do, the more muscle you build. The more actions you take, the more results you get. So with women, if you approach more women, you'll get more conversations, more dates. With the gym, you do more reps, well, you reap more rewards, more results. With business, you make more calls, you talk to more people, you shake more hands, well, you make more money. Now, lesson number 2, systems are more important than goals. Because goals are good. I mean, you need to have goals. It's good for setting a direction, etc. But systems are what's going to make you successful, are what's going to make you progress. And the problem comes when you spend too much time thinking about your goals, mapping out your goals, and not enough time designing your systems. Now, lesson number 3, fuck being normal. Okay, statistically, a normal person is unhealthy, fat, emotionally anxious, financially either in debt or is kind of very average financially. So fuck being normal. Embrace being different. Now, lesson number 4, follow the 3-2-1 rule. So before sleep, no food 3 hours before bed, ideally. Now, I don't respect that rule every day, to be honest, these days. I eat a lot before sleep. So I try to respect that rule throughout the year, but some, depends on the time of the year. Sometimes like I sleep just before bed, so it depends. But this is a good rule. No food 3 hours before bed, no water 2 hours before, and no screens 1 hour before. So this will optimize your sleep as well. Now, lesson number 5, lift weights at least 3 to 5 times a week, like especially in the morning. Like if you start your day with a good, solid workout, it's going to be a win that you can carry throughout the rest of the day, and it's going to help you focus on your goals better and give you more energy in general. Now, number 6, learn how to play chess, because learning chess sharpens your strategic thinking and problem-solving skills. And I think learning chess is a great way to learn some strategy moves and to always think ahead. You can really learn the power of thinking moves ahead in chess. And this is going to be very crucial in business and even in dating. Dating is a bit like chess too. So it's going to be very useful. Now, lesson number 7, seduction skills are a muscle. It's the same thing as I said, like volume negates luck. Well, the more reps you do, the stronger the muscles becomes. And with seduction, I mean, the more you talk to women, the more you put yourself out there, the more you challenge yourself in dating and with women, the better you get. And at some point, you can really build a skill set that is going to carry out for the rest of your life. Now, number 8, plan tomorrow today. This will give you clarity, focus, and it will reduce decision fatigue, and it will cut down the number of choices you need to make each day. Like we each have a certain bandwidth of decisions that we could do each day. And you don't want to deplete your decision making muscle too soon. So try to try to just like cut decisions, like plan tomorrow today, know what you're gonna be wearing. Like don't try to think about, oh, what should I wear today, what should I do, what should I, like try to have everything mapped out in advance. That way all you have to do is execute. Now, lesson number 9: lose yourself to find yourself. You have to try your hand at many things, especially if you're a younger guy listening to this, or a younger woman. I don't have many women in my audience, but if you're a woman listening to this or watching this, like especially earlier in life, you got to try different things to know which thing you're truly going to pursue for the rest of your life. And I've tried many things. I've tried e-commerce, I've tried working in a job, I've tried, different niches. And right now, what I'm doing now is a great fit for who I am now. Maybe later I'll try some other things, and I'll see, But you gotta be willing to lose yourself and try things to eventually find what you're truly meant for. Now, lesson number 10: build a strong network, like make new friends that are aligned with your vision, and try to even pay to access like-minded groups. That's what I've done early on, and I'm still doing that. Like I'm paying for mastermind groups, I'm paying to be a part of communities of like-minded people. But also you want to keep in touch with your core group of friends that you grew up with, like from high school, from college. Some of them you might not want to be in contact with anymore. Maybe they don't align with you anymore, or they've changed, or you've changed so much that you don't relate to them anymore. But you're gonna always have a few that you can always relate to, and it's great to keep in touch. Now, lesson number 11: seek feedback, not validation, because feedback sharpens your skills and helps you grow. However, validation only strengthens your ego. It doesn't really push you forward. So always try to seek feedback more than validation in general. Now, lesson number 12: build a brand, not just a business. I see so many people, they try to build a business without building a brand. Like it's just like some very transactional type of business, but they don't really build a brand equity. Like they don't really have a recognizable identity. They don't really put themselves out there. It's like a faceless thing with nothing in it. It's kind of soulless, right? So I think the best businesses are the businesses that are grounded in a specific brand. It doesn't have to be an individual, but it has to have a recognizable story and identity. So that's one thing. Now, lesson number 13: be selective with your circle. Like your network is your net worth. Surround yourself with people who challenge you, support you, and inspire you. Now, lesson number 14: obsession beats talent. Talent is good, but obsession at the end of the day wins. When you're obsessed, you're going to outwork everybody, and you'll outlast those who are merely talented and who just rest on their laurels and who just don't make any effort, any extra effort. Now, lesson 15: done is better than perfect. I've seen it so many times, like people getting stuck for days, weeks, months on end on a specific thing. They don't really accomplish their goals or their projects because they're too much of a perfectionist. Like they don't really ship it. They don't really just upload the video, or they don't really release that product or that version. Like it's fine. The first few versions of a product, the first few versions of you posting content or whatever online is not going to be perfect, and perfectionism is going to lead you to paralysis. So it's better to finish things, ship them, even though it's not perfect, and improve them later, than wait ages to release something and then either it's too late or you don't release it at all. So number 16, lesson 16 is don't chase, attract. In life, in dating, anywhere, stop chasing what you want and start becoming the person who naturally attracts it. Now, it's okay to pursue opportunities. There's a difference between pursuing opportunities and chasing opportunities. So don't overly chase people and things and opportunities. Pursue them, but don't chase too hard. There's a famous quote: don't chase the butterfly. Instead, nourish your garden so that the butterfly can come to you. And that's a great quote. Now, lesson 17: small daily wins add up. You won't see it overnight. Like it's going to compound over time. Success compounds over time. Success is just a series of small actions compounded over a long enough amount of time. So big wins are just the sum of many small, consistent victories. Focus on what you can do each day to move the needle, even if it's just like 1 hour a day, 2 hours a day, even if it's just like a 20-minute workout. Like do at least one action each day that can move the needle forward, and it's going to compound. Now, lesson 19, learn to sell yourself, whether it's in business, in dating, in life. The ability to sell yourself and your ideas are a superpower. Now, lesson 20, master sales to master life. Sales is absolutely everything. It's not just about closing deals in business. It's about influencing others. It's about understanding their needs. It's about communicating value effectively. So whether you're pitching an idea, building relationships, advancing your career, mastering sales is going to give you the edge and the persuasion skills you need to connect with people and create opportunities in every area, even in dating. Dating, I've said it this many times on my YouTube channel, like dating is sales, literally. So learn sales. Now, lesson 21. Harness the power of reciprocity. Give value first, and people will feel more inclined to help you in return. This is a very important principle in business, and you can leverage it in every area. This is why, the most famous perfume brands give free samples. They give you free samples, they let you test the products, they let you put some perfume on, and then they want to sell you the perfume. And you feel more inclined, more indebted to them because you've already gotten something for free. Lesson 22, perception is reality. How others see you often matters more than the truth itself, especially online, social media, Instagram, all of that. Perception is reality online. What you show to the world is what they will believe to be true. Now, I'm not saying you need to be a fraud, you need to fake your lifestyle, whatever, at all, but be mindful of how you are perceived, especially online and by people. Make sure you have a clean image. That's very important. Now, lesson 23, dress for success. Your appearance speaks volume. Dress well, take care of your grooming, buy the right clothes, don't buy some flashy shit. Keep it simple, keep it old money, keep it timeless, and you'll win. Now, lesson 24, read daily. You gotta go to sleep a little bit wiser than you woke up, if you can, each day. Now, I know it's hard to read each day, but try to do that. Try to expand your knowledge. Try to read something each day that can teach you something. Now, lesson 25, travel often and invest your money in traveling, because that's going to broaden your perspective. That's going to enrich your life. That's going to also give you even business ideas and stuff. Jeff Bezos got his Amazon idea after a trip. Same for Zuckerberg, apparently. Same for a lot of thinkers. Like traveling expands your mind and gives you great ideas. And it's one of the most important memories you're going to have in life. On your deathbed, those are some of the things you're going to remember, not the money you've made or the hours you've spent on your desk working at home. Now, these days, I aim to visit at least 5 new countries per year. Maybe it's going to slow down later, but the past few years, I've visited consistently at least 5 new countries every year. And it's been a blessing and it's been great. Now, lesson 26, learn to say no. Protect your time. A lot of people are going to ask you things throughout your day, throughout your life. You got to learn to say no more than you say yes. Otherwise, you're going to get fucked. You're going to have so much energy that you're going to be spending with others, doing other things that are not as important as what you should be doing. And it's going to distract you from your goals. So make sure you say no more than you say yes. Now, lesson number 27, stay humble. Keep an open mind, keep learning. Don't let success get to your head. There's people making so much more than you. There's people smarter than you. There's people stronger than you. Maybe right now you feel like you're unstoppable, whatever. And, God can help humble you and give you maybe a health crisis or give you something that you weren't expecting. So don't be too arrogant. Don't be too arrogant with people. Treat every people the same. You never know who you're talking to. And stay humble. Very important. Lesson 28, don't be afraid to pivot. Staying the course when it's not working is kind of foolish. Like there's a famous quote by Albert Einstein, which says, if you keep doing the same thing over and over and expect a different result, you're just dumb. You're just insane. So be willing to pivot and adapt. If something is not working for months, even years on end, cut your losses and just like do something else. Lesson 29, confidence trumps competence. Okay, confidence trumps competence. Confidence often opens doors that competence alone cannot. So a lot of times there's a lot of people in the world that are very, very competent. Maybe they're super good at coding and at software and whatever. And you have a guy that's like doesn't know shit about coding, but because he's very confident, he's able to leverage that to gain trust with some people. And the people who are actually competent end up working for the people who are more confident than them and not necessarily more competent. So confidence is important. Competence can trump competence in many ways. But usually, confidence can also come from competence usually, and it should actually come from competence. Lesson 30, play the long game. Short-term wins are great, but it's the long-term vision that builds empires. Now, lesson 31, make decisions with data, not emotions. Emotions are fleeting, but data gives clarity. So make important decisions based on facts and not emotions, if you can. Now, lesson 32, don't fear rejection. Rejection is just redirection in every field, in business, in sales, in every area. It's better to be rejected than to stay in your comfort zone and wonder, what if I would have done this? What if I would have said that? Just do it. And if it doesn't work out, then you can go and talk to someone else. That's fine. Now, lesson 33, simplify, don't complicate. Complexity often leads to confusion. And by simplifying the processes, whether in relationships, with your goals, with everything, it gives you more clarity and it gives you a better ability to act. Now, lesson 34, your habits define you. So all these little daily habits that you think are unimportant, they're actually going to shape your future. So cultivate habits that align with your goals. And there's a famous quote by Warren Buffett that says, the chain of habits are too light to be felt until they're too heavy to be broken. And sometimes if you keep doing the same thing over and over, it becomes a habit that's so ingrained in you that it's going to be very hard to replace it with a better habit, like smoking or like, watching too much TV or scrolling on social media. Those habits, once you engage in those like for too long, it's hard to just do something else or change that habit. Now, lesson 35, learn from other people's mistakes. You don't have to make every mistake yourself. Like, study other people's failures and avoid them. Read books and invest in yourself so that you can learn the knowledge from other people. The more you learn, the more you earn. Lesson 36, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Connections and relationships often matter a lot more than knowledge or talent. And this links to lesson 37. Your network is your net worth. Like, the value of your connections often outweighs your financial assets, and there's often a link between the amount of connections you have and the amount of money you have. Now, lesson 38, don't overvalue formal education. Learning doesn't stop at school. That's one of the key things I've learned. Like, real education actually comes from experience and self-education, self-study. Like, the best education I've received wasn't at school. It was from books, mentors, courses. Okay, and it actually started after formal education. I mean, I was reading books and stuff during my formal education, but the best of it started after. So don't overvalue it. Lesson 39, consistency beats intensity. Small, consistent actions over time are more effective than intense bursts of effort. It's better to be consistent every day and do a small action than try to be so intense for just once a month and then stop. Consistency beats intensity. Now, lesson 40, charm is a skill, not a trait. Anyone can learn to be charming. It's about making others feel good about themselves. It's about understanding communication and psychology, and about having the right posture and the right manners. And so charm is absolutely a skill. Even if you're born with less charm, you can learn to be charming. You can learn those seduction skills, and you can improve in that aspect. Lesson 41, people remember how you made them feel. Your words might be forgotten, but the feelings you create are lasting. Now, lesson 42, be a giver, not just a taker. Giving creates goodwill and opens doors. The more you give, the more you receive. Now, lesson 43, your environment shapes you. The people, the places, the things around you have a huge impact. Don't underestimate the power of your environment. That's why you need to always try to put yourself in the best environment you can to succeed. So choose wisely. Now, lesson 44, stay curious, because The most successful people in the world, one of the common traits, they're curious. They're always asking themselves questions about the world, about how things work, about what could be improved. Curiosity drives learning, drives growth. Never lose your sense of wonder. Always question things. Very important. Now, lesson 45, there's power in silence. Sometimes saying nothing is the strongest statement you can make. So silences are powerful. Now, lesson 46, invest 10% of what you earn. Try to build wealth over time. Don't just spend it or just save it, invest it. That way you can compound things over time, and you can retire early, and you can have a lot of freedom if you invest early. Now, lesson 47, eat 1 gram of protein per kilo of body weight if you can, because that's going to support muscle growth, that's going to keep you healthy, and especially if you work out, it's going to give you the necessary intake to grow muscle mass and keep yourself sharp. Now, lesson 48, the no 0 days rule. Never let a day go by without making at least a bit of progress. Even if you're hangover or if you had like a crazy party last night or whatever, the next day when you wake up, try to do something productive. Try to read at least a little bit. Try to work out at least a little bit. Do some push-ups. Try to take a walk. Try to do something that will move the needle. Okay, consistency is key. Lesson 49, and identify your core values, because understanding your core values is going to help you make decisions. Your values are like your GPS in life. It helps you make decisions, and you have to make sure that your values are aligned with where you want to go. So you got to identify your core values. Now, lesson 50, develop a strong handshake. A firm handshake is going to convey confidence, makes you have like a positive impression on people, and it works both on personal or professional settings. Like, you gotta develop a strong handshake. Trump is very famous for that, for having a strong handshake. Lesson 51, create a vision board. Like, using a vision board is gonna help you keep this sense of purpose, and it's gonna maintain your focus, your motivation, your clarity. Because otherwise you're gonna drift off. You're gonna forget about what you want to achieve, and you're gonna drift off. So always keep a vision board. Remind yourself of your goals so that you have this kind of northern star to look out for. Now, lesson 52, master the basics of self-defense. That's also a big one. Try to do boxing, martial arts, these type of things. Especially if you're a man, this will help you, and it's going to make you more confident. It's just going to prepare you for unexpected situations that can happen in life. Now, lesson 53, learn the art of small talk. Mastering small talk helps you build rapport quickly, whether at work, social gatherings, on dates, everywhere. And this is an art. This is something you can learn 100%. So master that, and it will definitely open a lot of doors. Now, lesson 54, always make the first move. Don't wait for people to make the first move, whether in business, relationships, life. Take the initiative. Very few people are going to initiate, and you want to be that person. Now, lesson 55, what gets measured gets managed. So tracking your progress helps you stay accountable, and it helps you really stay on track. I have a ring. This ring tracks my sleep. It's called an Oura ring. I have like tracking sheets for my business. I have different KPIs we look out for, and that we measure, because what gets measured gets managed. Otherwise, you don't really manage it. You don't really know what to expect, or what your goal is, or you can't really track any progress. Lesson 56, seek first to understand and then to be understood. Like, try to listen deeply before responding. This is a mistake that guys make as well, even with women. They try to talk without listening, without asking questions. They talk about themselves too much. So this is going to make you a much better communicator. Listening first, seeking to understand people first, and then making your point. Even in sales, I mean, you got to listen to the person first that you have in front of you, understand their needs, understand what they truly value and their challenges and stuff like that, and then you propose something. Now, lesson 57, be proactive, not reactive. Taking control of situations before they control you is going to lead to better outcomes. Try to anticipate things. Try to not just be in reaction. Try to be in action. Lesson 58, burn the boats, especially with your goals. Commit fully to your goals by eliminating backup plans. Like, I remember back in 2020, I was just graduating from university, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go to Romania. I'm gonna be building my business there." I had a few thousand euros to my name, like very few, like less than 10,000 euros to my name, even less. And I was like, "Okay, fuck it, I'm gonna burn the boats, go there, and make it happen. Like fucking work on my business full time, instead of working on my business like part time with my studies." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna have a job. I'm just gonna burn the boats, go to fucking Romania, and start my business there." And that's what I did. I started getting my more clients there, etc. And then I went to Estonia. Same thing. I always burn the boats and just make a decision, move somewhere else with money, and make something happen there, even if it's uncertain, even if I'm not sure I'm gonna make it. I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do this. Now, lesson 59, don't burn bridges as well. So when parting ways with people, try to leave on good terms, whether it's business partners, whether it's even your exes when you date or whatever. You never know when paths will cross again, even with friends. Like don't burn bridges. Like keep a door open if you can. Lesson 60, seek mentorship. Find mentors who can guide you and provide valuable advice, and just pay them to fast track your success. Lesson 61, embrace automation. Use technology to automate repetitive tasks. Especially in this day and age, it's foolish to not leverage automation and even intelligence, artificial intelligence, and all of that. So, and even nowadays, like it's foolish to not leverage, artificial intelligence and all of that. So personally, I use Zapier and other automation tools to do that in my business. But even in your personal life, there's ways to automate things. Now, lesson 62, prioritize experiences over things. So memories, experiences are going to be more important than material possessions on your deathbed. So try to prioritize that. This links to the idea of traveling as well. Now, lesson 63, build a morning routine, because when you start your day with intention and structure, it really sets the tone for success. Like make your bed the first thing in the morning, drink some water, check your goals again, your vision board, meditate, pray, whatever. If you pray, I mean, you don't need to pray if you don't want to pray, but have a certain routine that kind of grounds you and primes you to have success during your day. If you win the morning, you win the day. If you win the day, you win the week. If you win the week, you win the month. And so really it starts early. Now, lesson 64, practice gratitude daily. Appreciate what you have and recognize the positive aspects of your life, and always try to be grateful for the things you already have instead of always chasing something that's external. Now, lesson 65, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So opportunities only come from action. Don't let fear or hesitation stop you from trying. If you have a girl you want to talk to, get out there. If you have a business you want to try, do it. If you want to say something that's a bit uncomfortable to someone you love, just say it. Now, lesson 66, do the hard things first, because tackling the most difficult tasks, especially early in the day, is going to give you momentum and is going to make the rest of the day a lot easier. So there's a famous principle like eat that frog. This is a famous book, I think, by Brian Tracy, which is like you want to eat the frog early. Like just eat the frog first thing in the morning. Eat the thing that's a bit painful, and then eat the dessert later. Okay, so eat your veggies first, and then eat the dessert later. Do the stuff that's a bit uncomfortable first. That's the hardest first, and then everything is going to look easier. Now, lesson 67. Don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Everyone's journey is different, so focus on your own progress, not on where others are. Comparison is the thief of joy. So you got to always, focus on your own journey and progress. Now, lesson 68, ask better questions, because the quality of your life is truly determined by the quality of your questions, the questions you ask yourself or the questions you ask others. So learn to ask powerful questions. Lesson 69, under promise and over deliver. Exceeding expectations consistently, whether in business, with family, with dating, is going to build a great reputation and is going to make you a man of his word and a man who people can truly rely on. Now, lesson 70, learn to read people. That's very important. Understand body language, tone, micro expressions. Understand how the different personality traits and all of that, because that's going to give you an edge in both personal and professional interactions. Now, lesson 61, develop a personal brand. Your reputation is your brand. Like, consistently try to build your brand and reinforce that. Your brand is made of your values as well. So if you identify your values and you communicate your values through your brand, that's going to make you recognizable, and people will start to associate with you more. And through that, through your personal brand, you can make connections, you can make deals happen in business, you can attract partners, etc., even romantic partners. So a personal brand is a very important asset you need to build, especially in this day and age. Now, lesson 72, understand opportunity cost. Every decision has a trade-off. So being aware of what you're giving up to get what you want helps you make better choices. Like, every decision has a trade-off. So sometimes you have to say no right now to say yes to the things you want most. And being aware of what you're giving up helps you make better choices. Now, lesson 73, invest in the intangible: relationships, reputation, emotional intelligence. Those things don't show up on a balance sheet, but they're invaluable assets. So invest in intangible skills and things that you can't really measure, but those things make a big difference. Now, lesson 74, be a signal, not a noise. In a world full of distractions, those who succeed are the ones who consistently add value, clarity, purpose. There's so much noise out there, people saying some nonsense, people just, talking about some bullshit, adding some more, noise to the world. But be a signal, be someone that people can go to for advice, for clarity, for purpose. Now, lesson 75, be a contrarian in a world full of conformists. If everyone is doing it, question it, because true innovators, they think differently. They aren't afraid of going against the grain or the status quo. And that's how you truly make a difference. Now, lesson 76, optimize for serendipity. Create an environment where luck can find you. And this often means saying yes to the unknown and trying to network outside of your usual circles and doing things a bit differently than you've done before. Like, try to sometimes break your routine, break your patterns, do things that you've never done before, try something you've never done before, right? And that will create situations where luck can find you. Even like sometimes if you just take a walk every day and try to, while you take a walk, you approach a few people, you maybe try to have a conversation with someone, well, that can bring a lot of opportunities. Saying hi to people, complimenting people, starting new conversations, all these things will lead to opportunities. Now, lesson 77, focus on timeless principles over trends. Trends, they always fade at some point, but principles endure. So build your life and your business on fundamentals that can withstand the test of time instead of just some shiny object syndrome and just always trying to follow trends, okay? That's very important. Now, lesson 78, be a pattern recognizer. Success often lies in recognizing patterns that others miss. Train your mind to see connections and trends that others kind of overlook, because success always leaves clues. You can always try to recognize patterns and see how things work out for people. So that's a good trait. Like, the most successful people, they're able to recognize patterns early. Even the best seducers, the best seducers in the world, they understand the patterns, they understand what works, what doesn't work, and with their experience and others' experience, they can recognize patterns and know in advance what could work with women, for example. Same thing for business. Like, when you're a business veteran, like when you've been through a lot of business deals, you've been through a lot of different businesses, business niches, etc., you can recognize patterns that others cannot foresee. And this will make you a very savvy business guy as well. Now, lesson 79, understand power dynamics. In every interaction, there's power dynamics at play. And learning to recognize and navigate them is going to give you a huge advantage. This can also be facilitated through the understanding of frame control and communication and psychology. But power dynamics are huge, and you got to understand that. Now, lesson 80, frame is everything. Your worldview and how you present your worldview to people is going to set the tone of the relationships you have. So maintain a strong frame, work on your frame, and work to strengthen it. And this can come from either strengthening your self-image to change how you view the world and how you behave and how you act through the world, but also your frame is like your understanding of the world in general. So yeah, like frame is everything, and the people who have the strongest frame are gonna win in negotiations, in interactions, in everywhere in business. So learn to have a strong frame, like master frame control. Now, lesson 81, show, don't tell, because your actions speak louder than words. So demonstrate your value instead of boasting about it. Now, lesson 82, be willing to walk away. The ability to walk away from anything that doesn't serve you is a powerful negotiation tool in relationships, in business, in dating, everywhere. If you see that it's not really working out with a girl, instead of chasing her even more, just show her that you can walk away, and she'll be the one chasing you. Same in negotiation, like the people who can say no and the people who can walk away are usually the people who have the strongest hand in the negotiation. Now, lesson 83, always have an emergency fund. I don't understand people who only have like $100 in their bank accounts and who don't have anything else. Like, just try to build an emergency fund so that you can cover unexpected expenses, unexpected bills, etc. Have some money saved up at least 3 to 6 months ahead so that you can cover expenses and for your personal life, but also for your business. Now, lesson 84, use a calendar for everything. Like, try to schedule every task, every commitment, every reminder on a calendar. That way you don't forget. Because if you don't write it down, there's a high chance you're going to forget things and you're going to mismanage things. So use a calendar for everything. It's a game changer. Now, lesson 85, less is often more. So when it comes to dressing well, when it comes to design, when it comes to communication, life in general, simplicity often leads to a greater impact. Now, lesson 86, try to move daily. Even if it's just a walk, try to always move. Ideally, you want to walk 10,000 steps a day. I know it's hard for every day to do that, but try to move daily, work out daily, do something daily. Now, lesson 87, don't always argue to win, argue to learn as well. Debates should also be about growth and understanding. It should not always be about proving a point. So I'm going to give you a magical question that you can use when a smart person disagrees with you. If you're negotiating or if you're debating with a smart person, then try to ask this. Try to ask them, well, that sounds a bit opposite to what I was thinking. Like, it seems like you have a totally different view compared to what I was thinking. So what do you know that I don't know? Or what makes you say that? Like, what makes you say that? Or what do you know that I don't know? Because if a smart person disagrees with you, especially if they're older and maybe they have more money and more success, there's probably something that you don't know that they actually know that you could potentially learn. So don't always argue to win the argument, argue to learn as well. Now, lesson 88, mystery is magnetic. So don't reveal everything at once. A touch of mystery keeps others intrigued, invested, etc. And that's the same for seduction, especially. Lesson 89, theory is not practice. So understanding a concept theoretically is just the beginning. But real growth and real mastery comes from applying the knowledge in the real world. I see so many guys, they read a ton of dating books or business books or whatever, but they don't implement. And then they end up with a ton of theory, but not a lot of results to show for. So theory is not practice. Now, lesson 90, build anti-fragility. So some things benefit from chaos and stress. For example, muscles that grow stronger from resistance. Like, the more you tear out the muscle, the more it becomes stronger. And it's the same thing in life. Try to design your life to thrive under pressure, not just survive. Try to challenge yourself. Try to do things that are stretching your comfort zone. That way you can build this anti-fragility and you can build this fortitude. So it's very important to do things that challenge you. If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't make you grow. If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't really change you. So build anti-fragility, try new things, put yourself in stressful situations so that you can build this resistance to change and you can thrive under pressure. Now, lesson 91, use the Benjamin Franklin effect. So the Benjamin Franklin effect is the effect that states that people who do you a favor are more likely to do another favor for you than those whom you've done favors for. So asking for small favors to people is a great way to build rapport, to build investment, to build reciprocity. For example, if you're talking to a girl at a bar, well, you could ask her to, for example, hold your drink or do something for you, and that's going to build a bit of rapport, a bit of investment. Same thing if you ask a closed one to do something for you or a friend to do something for you. If they do it, it builds like a stronger bond because they've invested, they've done something for you. So the Benjamin Franklin effect is a great way to make more people more invested in you. Now you don't want to overdo it. As I said, you want to be a giver rather than a taker as well. Now, lesson 92, this is about the regret minimization framework. So when making decisions, ask yourself, will I regret not doing this when I'm 80? And this long-term perspective clarifies priorities. Like, will I regret not going on this trip when I'm 80? Or will I regret not starting this business when I'm 80? Or will I regret not approaching this woman when I'm 80? Whatever. And this perspective is going to make you take more action. Now, lesson 93, the map is not the territory. So your perception of reality is not reality itself. So always question your assumptions and your beliefs because they might not be the entire truth. And there are things that you can't see right now that if you knew or if you saw them, you would act a lot differently. Now, lesson 94, breathe better, live better. So you have to understand that your breathing controls your entire nervous system. So if you learn to breathe deeply and breathe better, and maybe through meditation or through some breathing exercises, you can improve your breathing. This is going to make you make better decisions. It's going to make you sleep better. It's going to make your health better. There's a guy called the Wim Hof, and he has a famous Wim Hof method where he teaches you how to breathe better. So it's a great one. Now, lesson 95, Amor fati, so love your fate. Embrace everything that happens in your life, good or bad, because everything happens for a reason. And if you think that way, if you think that, even if you have a bad experience, if you think that there's a greater purpose to that bad experience, then this will lead to you having a more resilient mindset, and it will lead to more contentment. So yeah, love your fate, embrace everything that happens in your life, because maybe that thing that happened, even if it's a bad thing that happened, let's say you got into a car accident, well, maybe it happened for a reason. Maybe that made you grow in some way, that forged you in some way, and this wouldn't have happened, like you wouldn't have been the same person if that incident wouldn't have happened. You see what I mean? So sometimes in life, like if you look back, some of the most painful experiences are some of the most beneficial experiences that you needed to go through to learn. So yeah, love your fate. Now, lesson 96, always wear condoms. Like, this is something I've learned early on. Like, I used to not wear condoms, but it's very important to always do that, because you're always going to worry otherwise. Like, oh, what if this? What if she has an STD? What if she gets pregnant? Whatever. So always wear condoms. Always protect yourself. Very important. Even if she's the most beautiful girl in the world and she doesn't want to wear a condom, like, wear a condom. That's one thing. Now, lesson 97, give a few compliments each day. So offering a few sincere compliments each day to people around you or to even strangers is gonna make people feel more valued, and is gonna enhance your social connections, and it's gonna boost your own confidence, because you're gonna be the guy who gives positive value to people, and people will reflect that to you. The world is kind of a mirror. If you treat the world a certain way, the world is going to treat you also a certain way. So if you compliment people all the time, if you raise people's value, etc., over time, it's going to come back to you as well. Now, lesson 98, keep in mind the 80-20 rule. So focus on the 20% of activities that yield to the 80% of results. Always try to prioritize high impact tasks. Even when you do a to-do list, try to rank your to-dos from order of priority. Very, very important. Now, lesson 99, the sunk cost fallacy. This is a big fallacy. A lot of people, they invest a lot in an idea or they invest a lot in a belief, and they don't want to change that idea or that belief because they've already invested so much time and energy into it. But sometimes, like, you want to avoid letting past investments or past decisions dictate your current decisions. Like, try to make choices based on future value, not past costs that cannot be recovered. So a lot of people, because they've invested so much money into a business, they don't want to shut that business down, even though that business is not making any money. They want to keep investing in something that doesn't work instead of, you know, instead of just switching or doing something else. Same for a belief. If a person believes a certain way of life is the right way of living, they're not going to want to change their way of life, even though that way of life might be toxic, because they've already invested so many years in living that way, you know? So that's one thing. Now, lesson 100, and that's the last lesson, adopt the 10-10-10 rule for decision making. So for any decision, consider how you'll feel about it 10 minutes from now, 10 months from now, and 10 years from now. And this will help you make way better decisions. For example, you want to take drugs? Well, 10 minutes from now, yeah, maybe you'll feel great. 10 months from now, not so much. 10 years from now, probably not. So same thing for a lot of things. However, reading that book, 10 minutes from now, you'll feel okay. 10 months from now, you'll feel good. 10 years from now, your life will probably change. Same thing for going to the gym. Same thing for eating healthy. It works the same for toxic habits, bad habits, good decisions, bad decisions. 10-10-10. Consider how you'll feel about it in 10 minutes, 10 months, and 10 years from now. Anyways, I hope this was helpful. There's so many other lessons. I mean, I tried to do my best to kind of like structure it that way. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. I hope this was a great reminder. I'm sure some of the ideas you knew already. Some of you knew some of these ideas already, but it's a great reminder. It's a great, there are some great ideas to keep reminding ourselves throughout our lives. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate to leave a comment, like, subscribe. If you're on the podcast, I'm going to keep posting podcasts, hopefully a lot of great podcasts coming. And if you're on the YouTube channel, same thing, a lot of great videos coming. So subscribe, stay tuned, and I'll see you soon.